And yesterday, I was down at the local retail store. I live in Torquay, it's no secret, and it's cold down here. So I needed to buy a jacket, right? This is the visual that I want everyone to sort of land here is when I'm tapping the card to make that purchase, is it a human making that decision or is it a spreadsheet making that decision? And it sounds quite straightforward. Clearly, it's a human, but it's important for people to realize that the spreadsheets are not with you at the point of sale when you're making the decision. It's all about controlling the behavior. I'm very clear that I've provisioned money for that jacket. And I'm very clear how I deal with that at the end of the month, where I allocate that towards the provision. So therefore, I know that I'm swimming between the flags. That's the important part here is the whole game of money is a behavior game. If it wasn't a behavior game, every single person who's listening to this, who's ever written a budget would say, yep, at the end of the month, I said I was going to have $50 and I did. But there's got to be people who are listening to this nodding, going, yeah, I've done budgets before that I've put plenty of time and energy into at the time of making it. But at the point of where it really mattered, it was nowhere to be seen. And then I didn't really want to reconcile it at the end of the month because I was too far from it. So, we've said this is a pillar of financial stability, getting this right. The reason that it's important is if you go back to James Clear, which was an episode we did in December 2019, he said it's the habits that you do on a daily basis that get you to your bigger goals, right? So what we're talking about in having this as a pillar is all about habits. How do you make decisions at the time when it matters the most? Because when you're sitting in front of your spreadsheet on a Sunday night, when you're not in the throes of making a transaction, it's easy to stay on budget. But it's when you're in the coalface of a temptation, of the marketing that is being thrown at you at 50 messages a minute, that is when it matters, right? So this is why stability comes with this particular pillar around having that money smarts in place. Do you have a system to game your behavior? Do you have a system that when you turn up and you're about to make a spontaneous decision around whether you should or whether you shouldn't, do you have something to lean on that's going to help you when you're at your most vulnerable, when your stomach is hungry, or when you feel like you need something in your world? This is when it matters most. So we're laboring on it. And of course, we have a very strong passion towards people doing money smarts, but it is at its core a behavior management system. It's got spreadsheets, it's got rules, it's got numbers, it's got allocations, it's got provisions, it's got all those financial things. But at its core, it's a behavior management system, Ben.